I'm Susan Pasquarelli, the artist.
I'm Marianne Day, her sister.
I'm Jack Brown, her, I'm Jake Garbino.
I'm David
Wayne.
Nephew.
A nephew, okay, and you guys came from?
California.
LAX. In California.
Yikes.
This is my show, Day and Night.
Susan Pasquarelli's work reflects her abiding love for the landscape of the American Southwest.
The Day are watercolors suggestive of the landscape around Taos, New Mexico, and Arizona and Utah. As a child, I loved the Indians and the color of that mythic land that they live in, and it's harsh at times, but the color, the blue sky blows me away. It's so blue, and then the earth and the sky, the green and the blue, and the red and the blue, those simple, powerful colors. It makes me oftentimes feel so lucky even to be able to see it. Just blows me away, truly.
The night paintings are more figurative and painted with gouache, which is an opaque, water-based medium. In these works, she's trying to catch the natural environment that surrounds her home.
Where I live, it's 7,000 feet up and it's isolated. There's a wildness there, and it doesn't take much to get in touch with that. This whole idea of the nighttime and the feral quality of it, the imaginative, where things just come a little bit askew at night. So I decided to do these paintings that are an homage to Mero's constellations, and they're animals and insects and the moon and stars. We have a lot of jackrabbits, and they're wild just to look at their eyes. They look like they're insane. There's coyotes here. I don't know, it makes me feel more in touch with that feral quality.
She told me about the technical aspects of working with watercolor and gouache.
The Day paintings are all watercolors, and I use a process that I've been using for decades, really, and that's creating light, a kind of luminescence by layering the paint. It takes a long time, but it suits me. It suits me very well. The gouache paintings, they're not layered, but I create a gradation by putting a very slight value change in the form of lines next to each other, and they create an animal with a kind of light inside. So the processes are related, but not quite the same. With watercolor, I put one layer on top of another. And with the gouache, I add one layer next to another.
Susan's work can range from quite abstract to very naturalistic. And she has been creating a huge variety of images with her iPad, from self-portraits to closely observed landscape studies.
It is an incredible tool. There are things that you can do in sketching applications on an iPad that simply can't be done any other way. For example, I get up early in the morning when it's dark, and I'm able to draw the night sky with that iPad, which has the light underneath the surface. And there's no other way in which that could be done with something like watercolor or gouache or any other medium. It's excellent in that way, but also totally freeing in my exploration of being an artist. I try all kinds of things, and I say yes to that. It broadens and deepens. You can take it as far as your imagination can go. Here's a dream, a snake dream that I had. And so look at what this application will do.
Oh, you're kidding.
It records the whole process?
Right, you bet. It animates it. It's just an excellent feature about this application.
What's the application called?
This particular one is called Brushes. David Hockney uses it.
I asked her about abstraction versus realism in art.
That whole distinction is blurring for me, and I think it's a good thing. I never worked naturalistically. I taught it for 20 years. With the iPad, I thought to myself, try. I have this incredible changing light all around me every day. I started doing more naturalistic landscapes, and I feel like I'm learning from it. And I know that the more you look, the more you see.
I really love the 3 large female figures that Susan painted in watercolor. They are a wonderful blend of abstraction and figuration.
I used to make a lot of figurative drawings that are in the digital sketchbooks. I call them Venus figures, and they're kooky, crazy self-portraits and full figures. From those, I decided to make some watercolors that were connected to that idea of Venus. The name of Venus comes from my looking at the morning star and the relationship between Venus out my bedroom window and the moon. Every morning the relationship would be different and just stunningly beautiful.
Listening to an artist like Susan Pasquarelli, one gets a sense of possibility and joy. Her philosophy is simple but profound.
In life, we don't have that much freedom, but in art, we do.